How you doing, YouTube? Massive Beer Reviews, back with yet another review. Going with an all-time classic on today's Massive Beer Review in the form of Miller Brewing Company's High Life. Yeah, Miller High Life, baby. Doesn't get much better. I've actually reviewed this before, not on my channel. Buddies of mine, a bunch of Canadian beer tubers, more notably Nick Maxwell Star from Maxwell Star Beer Reviews. He does his weekly Beer Analysis 101. They kind of cover a lot of stuff from craft beer to kind of macro beer, and they had this on there, and I actually joined that. So it's the second time I'm technically reviewing this. Why am I reviewing this? Because I can review anything I want, whenever I want. And two, they put in these big-ass 750s as the champagne of beers. And, you know what? We'll dive into it. We'll talk about it, but I'm going to tell you right now. Not as craptastic as the beer as you think it might be. But anyway, what does it say on this beautiful 750? Let's see. This has a Best By date of February. Or it was bottled in February. I highly doubt that, though, being that this is December. It just came out. Miller High Life, 2018, the champagne of beers. Miller Brew Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. No information other than government warning stuff. Done and done. Label-wise, it's High Life, but it's in a big 750 bottle, so, it looks damn pretty, to be perfectly honest with you. So, yeah. Got a proper glassware. Well, proper-esque. There's a whole bunch of breweries on here. You got Schlitz and Pabst and Lowenbrau and Ballantine, but you got that. It's hard to pick up because this is such an old glass, but you got your Miller High Life logo going in there. So I picked this nice glass out of my glass collection. I actually have like 6 of these. I found them in a set. And, yeah. Wow. That was carbonated. Man, that wanted to come out. So it's not like, gonna shoot out of the beer because it's not like funkier or sour or anything like that. It's just that it's highly carbonated in the bottle. But as you can see, try to find a spot where you guys can check it out. Super clear, very soft carbonation. Really not much else. Uber clear, strong color. Quarter pinky finger of Whitehead. Done and done. She looks like a lager. It's basically your American adjunct lager, but it has a couple things going for it outside of just, I would say, normal lager. I think this actually has I don't know if there's corn in this. I didn't want to look anything up about it, but for some reason I still think this has a malt base to it. And two, you always see the Miller High Life in clear bottles, and you were like, well, what are you doing, dumbass? Why are you putting beer in a clear bottle? If there's any kind of hops in there, it's going to get skunky on you. They use I don't know if it's a GMO modified Galena hop, but they use a very kind of light resistant kind of hop to it. So typically, if you're going to have this more times than not, especially if it wasn't sitting out in the sun, it's usually not going to be as skunky as your typical American adjunct lager or like your green bottle like European Beck's or something like that. So let's get a nose. Yeah, she doesn't smell bad. She's got a soft sweetness to her. Very, just soft Pilsner vibes all around. Maybe a little bit more aggressive, both in the malt end of things and in the actual bittering component. Yeah, there's a soft bittering hop in there. Nothing too distinct, nothing too crazy, but it's definitely apparent. And it's got a nice sweetness to it. Is it verge on that kind of rice, kind of corn kind of sweetness? A little bit, but it's not all the way there, so it has a little bit more going for it than your just typical kind of rando and adjunct lager. So I'm just going to dive in. Cheers. That's not bad. That's not bad. Big, nutty, like crackery malt. It's like crackery malt with a nut component to it. You are getting those kind of bittering hops. Kind of nondescript. If anything, are going to lean a little bit piney. It's like a Pacific Northwest hop, I think. So it leans a little bit piney, but it doesn't get in the way of the actual malt base, which is kind of the star of the show. It's got a nice sweetness to it. Doesn't come off too. It's not like artificially sweet, saccharine sweetness, kind of syrupy sweetness. It's more just a sweet malt that verges on the edge of that kind of sake territory, and you get a soft bitterness. Infinitely drinkable, nice mouthfeel to it. Listen, I'm not gonna sit here and say this is the best beer I've ever had, or it is close to a lot of beers that are like it from better breweries. They're much better Pilsner, much better lager out there. But this is not a bad beer, and it kind of has that reputation amongst a lot of the people out there that make the beers that you love. If you walk into a lot of breweries out there, that make beers that you wait in line for, that you sit outside in the cold waiting in line for, that throw those geometric sticker cans out that you love and gobble up so much, while they're making that beer, more times than not, they're chugging this beer while they're making that beer. So it's kind of like almost like I don't want to call it the comedian's comedian of beer, but it's kind of in that kind of vein to where it's like, a lot of people will poop on it, especially super new beer nerds or very righteous beer nerds will poop on it. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not a bad beer. It's not. But you have to understand what it's trying to be. And what it's trying to be is a very quaffable, very chuggable, lager that is not offensive to anybody, but it does have undertones of being a nice beer. And that is not a bad thing. It reminds me of my childhood. This is kind of one of the beers that got me into beer when I was growing up. This is the stuff that I would steal, from my parents when I was growing up. So it has a little bit of a kind of sweet spot in my heart when it comes to, being what it is. But at the same time, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's definitely something if I'm out and about and I'm at a bar, an airport bar, or, a sporting event bar. Those are getting much, much better nowadays, but, they got a rack of, your classic macro beers, I'll lean on this. I always go Jenny Cream Ale. That's my number one. But if they don't have Jenny Cream Ale, listen, we'll talk about it right now. Jenny Cream Ale, Stella, this. Trying to think of one other one I might lean on. I do drink a Labatt Blue, not a ton, but my one buddy's like a huge Labatt Blue guy for something. He's not a beer guy, he's just a friend, and he always orders me a beer and just gets it. So I will drink that just because he's my best friend, and I am not going to turn a beer away like an asshole. And so I'll drink that, but it's mainly those three. You're gonna find those. You're gonna get your Jenny Cream, you're gonna get your Stella, you're gonna get the Miller High Life. Done and done. So let's talk about it. Is it one of the better lagers or pilsners that I've had as of late? No, I've had better, but I've had much worse too. So take that for what it's worth. Value and availability. I think I paid like $2.50 for this. And if you think about it, it's one of the most apt 750s ever in history. A lot of people kind of like, 750s are like, oh, I don't know if I want to drink the whole thing. You're definitely going to drink this whole thing. So it works in a 750 format and leave you with, you probably pay more penny per ounce. If somebody out there wants to calculate it, you're probably wasting money buying the 750, but look at how beautiful that is. Who doesn't want that on their mantle? And leave you with, if you like what we like this. If you like not being an overtly judgeable asshole, while at the same time can be open-minded enough to drink something, albeit from the man, that is just chuggable. Chuggable beer for chuggable circumstances. If you like just lager, pilsner, beer in its most simplest form, and you want to have a beer with a brewer. When you see a brewer at the bar, don't buy him the Milkshake Double IPA on draft. You see a brewer at a bar, buy him if he'll probably nod his cap to you and start a conversation. You buy him that super hazy one, he'll probably take a sip and be like, I gotta talk to somebody and leave, and then not drink the rest of it. So anyway, there you go. A little bit of 750 champagne of beers. Not mystery. What did I call it? Mystery beer. Delicious. Maybe it is a mystery beer. Why I like it, I don't know. Review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there, if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers, if you want to check out what you do on the social media stuff. Beer Massive, if you want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a little high life right now. And hopefully see you next time. Cheers.